slowly but steadily, now a lot of open source intelligence software is bringing out all these various toolkits that were being planned and planted by the left liberal woke ecosystem, and so that it will look like there is simultaneous outrage and there has to be some truth because of that. In a multi-part series, we are going to be discussing various such phenomenon. The first one is coming out today. So let's take a look first at caste and how this has been going back and forth, and this narrative, who's pushing it from behind. You'll see amazingly that by the time we are done with this series, there are only a very few players who are the ones who are who are doing all the pushing. So here we go. First one is caste. It's a centuries-old disease. Somehow, no one seemed to be too concerned about it up until recently, 2-3 years ago. Suddenly, you see a new entity called Equality Labs, and then they start putting out all these things. There is suddenly a survey, very imperfectly done survey. There was an equivalent survey done by a well-reputed organization. Nobody wants to look at that. Why? Because this survey's data is convenient. Why is it convenient? Because this Equality Labs entity itself is a creation of somebody's fantasy and imagination. So we're going to take apart all the different things here. This is extensive research done by Disinfo Lab. They have their website. We'll give you the reference to their website because this is a very voluminous document. It goes to a fairly deep extent, showing each one of these founders of Equality Labs, their agenda, their antecedents, and why they might be peddling a certain type of a narrative. Suddenly, you now see the dates that are happening. On June 6th, this is this year, Dalit Panthers meet Black Panthers. Wow, I didn't know that there was an entity called Black Panthers. Well, be that as it may be, there are. Dalit Panthers are supposed to be the ones who are trying to take up the cause of Dalits. You know, the lady who's the face of Equality Labs, people doubt if she has even visited India even once. She was born in the United States, born to doctors who claimed that they were Dalits and that they were discriminated. Now, history will tell us that the Indian government has done above and beyond the call of duty to address the needs and the ambitions of the scheduled caste and scheduled tribe category people. In 1989, there was a law that was passed called as Prevention of Atrocities Act. And in this, anyone who could be accused by a person of SC/ST could be jailed. And in 1989, it was tabled. And then in 1995, it got, normalized, put down as rules. And we have seen many instances that I have described also in some of our videos where somebody just orally says that this person attacked me, and without checking for facts, he would be arrested. You can look at Shiva Shakti. Those are the videos. This took place in Andhra Pradesh. In fact, in one video, the person who's claiming to be from an SC community and he has since converted to Christianity, he was saying that, look, as an SC, I can call the sub-inspector of the local police station and report you, and you will go to jail. There is nothing you can do about it. And sure enough, somebody who was working for the government, whose only mistake was trying to distribute Bhagavad Gitas in front of a church, got dismissed from his job. So these people have also misused some of the facilities that were given to them. Then what happened was the Supreme Court in 2018 expressed some reservations, saying that, look, some of these things look too arbitrary. There has to be some proper inquiry done before the charges can be accepted in a police station. This was the Supreme Court ruling. You know what the Modi government did? They overruled the Supreme Court ruling and said the original law stands. That's how I understood it, that even today, if somebody who belongs to the SC/ST community decides that X, anyone, that could be anyone in India, has done some harm to him, he or she can go to the police station and say that this is what it is, and the police will register an FIR without asking any questions. So that is where the things stand today. I mean, if this is actually bending more in their direction than what the Supreme Court had given a more middle of the road kind of observation. But whatever it is, the Modi government decided to go back to the 1995. So there is very strong protection for those who are of the oppressed communities. Now, where does this caste narrative come from? So let's go back and take a look at it again. I mean, I'm talking about what more can the government do? They've already gone above and beyond the call of justice. And then Google was accused of casteist for not allowing EL founder 𝗣𝗬𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀 to give her speech. This was during COVID days. We again covered that, and Google put its foot down and said, no, the equality labs antecedents are questionable, and that inquiry, I don't know where that is, that should be done. And surprise, surprise, Google took one way and Apple went the other way. Apple said, no, we are introducing diversity policy around caste. I mean, I'm a consumer of Apple products. I'm not going to stop consuming Apple products just because of one policy like this, but it becomes my responsibility to tell Apple that, look, you are jumping the gun without looking or understanding all the provisions that have been already in place. So that is what my beef is. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. Look at this story. I'm going to go into maximum mode so you can see it. Who are all the things doing? Dalit Diva, this is 𝗣𝗬𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀, then Audrey Truschke, then IAMC. Here's how the thing comes up. You can see similar stuff, the trauma of caste. Same lady, 𝗣𝗬𝘀𝘀𝘀𝘀𝑟𝑎jan. And it comes and gets reverberated in so many different places. These are three here. Here are some more. Hindus for Human Rights. And suddenly you find out that all these things come from the same fountain. So the echo chamber is being carefully constructed. Suddenly there is something called Hindus for Human Rights. This is an offshoot of IAMC, Indian American Muslim Council. Look at this. Now, after that happened in the United States, Al Jazeera picks up, Washington Post picks up, and TRT World. ICNA discusses caste on its forum. Dalit Diva launches book on caste. University of Minnesota adds caste to its diversity criteria. Meena Kandaswamy is awarded she gets an award by Penn, Germany. I haven't seen that work, and I don't know why somebody would give an award. You know what? These days, the organizations are dime a dozen. Awards are more than that, dollar a dozen, whatever you want to call it. But these things are just being given left, right, and center. These things have no standing. In fact, people are even saying that the Nobel Prize has no standing because it's so slanted. Anyway, Audrey Truschke attends an event on caste in higher education. IAMC hosts a event on Dalits on October 7th. This was recorded on October 30th. So this is the latest that you have. Now, here are the global players. Remember, I told you about these things. Here, these are the global players: Washington Post, Al Jazeera, and TRT World. And these are the places from where they are based on. Washington Post, is United States. Qatar hosts Al Jazeera. TRT World is from Turkey, and Germany's DW newspaper, and in India, The Wire. These are the ones. They take the most unusual, irrelevant topics for the caste line narrative. What I'm saying is that there is a law, and it has been in place for many years now. 1995, the codification of the Atrocities, Prevention of Atrocities Act was done. And people do act on it. I'm going to give you a couple of links in the reference section. You can go there and you can see how many special courts have been established to make sure that no Dalits or SC, I should say, because I don't want to use the word Dalit. Dalit is incorrect. Scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, because scheduled caste, scheduled tribe codifies some particular community. Dalits are just a loose word that was coined in 1930s, but I would like to do the official name, which is scheduled caste, scheduled tribe. And that link will show you all the different courts that have been set up to make sure that justice is given, speedy justice is delivered to all such cases. There is data. I mean, it goes, state by state. How many cases were there? How many have been addressed? I mean, what more can the Indian government do? But these people are completely, blissfully unaware of all the remedies that have been done. I'm telling you, United States hasn't done something like this for its own oppressed. Here are the stories from Al Jazeera, Washington Post, DW, and so on and so forth. Then you can see the print, The Wire, TRT world. What is amazing is print kind of straddles both sides. Sometimes they'll come up with a right-wing story. Also, Shekhar Gupta, I think, is the one who's running print. He kind of plays both sides of the aisle, if you will. Whatever it is, but the print will also give you some outrageous stories. Like I said, they take some remote incident and then play it up in a big way. Now, in the recent past, the caste atrocities have suddenly multiplied, and wonder why these were not reported before. What was it that was a problem? See, this is the thing. It's like somebody has taken upon themselves to go and search every possible incident of an atrocity. There are also fake incidents. Did they ever write about that? No. See, a balanced article would have also shown that somebody who wanted to claim this thing just so that he could report a person and jail him and make sure that he loses his government job, that never gets reported. See, anybody who would do objective journalism would call both sides, right? But no, these people are out with a narrative. They want to just keep on saying that, look, this government is doing Hindutva nationalism. Again, these are all words they use without understanding what it means. I mean, the blathering idiots is all I can say. Whenever people use things where they don't understand the depth or the meaning of the word, and they just use it because that seems to, have a dog whistle kind of an effect where people suddenly think, oh, Hindutva nationalism, that's bad, right? So, I mean, we have even congressmen who abused this thing and they've gotten a lot of shtick for having done that. But be that as it may, you have all sorts of things being done. The masterminds are for maximum impact. Indian Muslims, IAMC. Secular Facade, Hindus for Human Rights. For Khalistan Narratives, SIC. And there will be some whites who are experts of everything, and this becomes, nobody asks any more questions. That's where things stand today. I hope you understood how this whole network works. We have already told you about the IAMC and how it's the fund that funds all these things. IAMC's founder was an ex-SIMI founder who has escaped India, and then he's sitting in the United States now. I don't know if he's still active or not, but he is one of the people who was actively involved. These things have been covered in our previous videos. You can get all the information from that. This is part 1 of a multi-part series. Do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.